Hey everybody, Mail here, 400 AGL. Long video, sorry about that. Little bit of audio trouble, sorry about that. Had to clean up some wind noise, did the best I could with it. An interview with a fellow by the name of Paul Murray. He lives in Port Huron, Michigan, and he does a lot of flying, does a lot of drone flying. Really interesting person to spend time with, and I learn something from him every time I meet up. I really hope you enjoy this interview video, and I really hope you stick around for the whole thing. I'd really appreciate it. Thanks so much. Enjoy the video. Paul Murray, everybody. He's a friend of mine. He lives here in Port Huron. He's a local flyer. He does a lot of flying at the river, which you can almost see behind us. Right now, the Flying Eagle Hilton's kind of blocking the view of the river, but I got some video. Paul, how long you been flying drones?
Since about 1987.
87.
My first copter was, you had to put it together, and it was 6 feet long. It had a 4.5-foot rotor. It was a single rotor.
That's a big rotor.
And you had all different parts. There was no computer assist. There was no GPS. There wasn't anything.
You had to fly.
You kept it in the air for a few minutes. You were a hero.
That's right.
And you spent most of your time fixing. And from that, I learned I'm not a fixer. I don't like to fix things. So when the evolution occurred and things turned around so that these are like flying a computer. They know where they are in the universe, how high they are, where they are, that you let go of the sticks, they paste themselves there, so that you as a videographer or a photographer, whichever, I choose to do video all the time, simply because my theory is you can always take a picture out of the video, but you can't turn a picture into video.
That's exactly right.
So,
so when did you start getting into quads?
Well, about 7 years ago,
I started
out.
You've been flying quads quite a while.
Yes, yeah, and I started out with all different brands. I worked my way through the Wakiras, and then I went and I had a M600L, which is a large version, which is a octocopter.
That's a DJI drone, right?
No, that's made by Align.
Oh, okay.
And it was too much of a fixer-upper for me, because you bought the copter from them and it had a wingspan, like this, and the rotors were this big. And the battery was as big as what we're flying now. So it was a heavy lifter. A lot of fun to fly, but you had to have a Fatava radio controller. You had to have a different...
everything was
individually components put together.
Now, I know
didn't like that.
I know that you're an FAA 107 licensed pilot.
Yes.
When did you get your 107?
It's been about a year and 4 months ago. I waited a little bit to see what everybody thought about it, and then I decided I'm a firm believer, if you're going to fly, you should have as much education, licensing as you can.
Absolutely.
I'm retired, and I'm not out there to make money at it. However, if a commercial movie set were to come to town and they wanted some extra drone pilots, just to get on set and see it, see how it works here in small town. But we have had some production companies here.
So I know on your channel is Paul Murray Port Huron, or
Paul Murray? You have to put on my YouTube. You have to put Paul Murray Port Huron. There's a very famous newscaster in Australia, and he's got thousands and thousands of them.
Okay, so there's another Paul Murray out there in the world.
Yes,
there's probably a whole bunch of them.
There is.
Luckily, there's only one you.
Yes, and I've got about 600 or 700 videos on there.
And your favorite thing to fly now is the St. Clair River,
the
Blue Water
ships,
Bridge,
all the ships on the Great Lakes Seaway. We happen to be living in a unique spot that every one of the major ships that go up and load either packaging or freight, coal, iron ore, whatever, they have to go through underneath the Blue Water Bridge. And the Blue Water Bridge there is only like a quarter mile wide. And so you've got the best look, because I know a lot of other pilots that I know all over the area, they have to find some place where it skinnies up, and those ships have to funnel through, and then you can get a good picture.
Yeah.
And so
But you're lucky. You live right here.
I live right here, and I meet a lot of people from all over the world that come here to see what we see.
Yep. And you get to see it every day because you live
exactly.
Here.
how many drones do you have right now?
Well, let's see. Currently, Frank Ferry Carolina Drones, which
Right.
you know.
I know Frank real well.
I was having trouble with the Align, and I was talking to him, and he says, Paul, I know you know how to fly. He says, I'm going to send you an Inspire One. Fly it if you like it, buy it if you don't, send it back. Now, who the heck does that? But anyway, I got it, flew it, fell in love with it, kept it. Then from there, I went up and I bought the Z3 camera, which to me is just a fantastic camera because you can zoom in and out, 7x zoom. And then I bought a Spark, and it was okay, but the Spark's a kind of has its own issues, but for the size and the money, it's a great purchase. The next I went and I bought a Mavic Air. Love that too.
Well, that wasn't the next one you bought, because I know you've got a Mavic Pro.
I bought that after I bought the Air.
Oh, you bought the Air first, did you?
Yes.
Really? Oh.
Yes.
So your Mavic Pro is real new.
Yes.
Oh,
yes.
Okay.
I've got a handful of flights with it, and it flies perfect.
Yeah.
But the gimbal system and the weight of the Inspire One, if anybody's serious, you got to get an Inspire One. You can buy them right now fairly reasonable.
Yep.
And if you got lots of money, go ahead and buy an Inspire 2. I bought an Inspire 2 and I held it for a couple of weeks and just returned it because it didn't do anything better than my Inspire 1, and it was bigger, bulkier, had to have 2 batteries to fly it, more money. It was like $5,000 or $6,000.
So for what you do, it didn't fit your motif.
And I'm not doing movie sets, so.
Yeah. Well, every place we fly is a movie set, brother.
Yep, exactly.
Anyway.
And I encourage anybody that thinks that you want to get some spectacular video or photos, consider this not as a hobby, but more of a hands-on experience, because you get to use some of the senses God gave you that you don't normally use, like depth perception, like height perception, like how to pan and keep something centered in the screen. Anybody, I wouldn't say anybody, but with the invention of the cell phones, anybody can take a picture.
Sure. Cameras are everywhere now.
But what you do now is to enhance that skill, now you have to look at framing in the air.
Now you have another perspective.
Another perspective.
Yep. What do you plan on for the future? What do you think you're going to do? You're just going to keep your Inspire? And
I'm going to keep flying my Inspire until somebody proves to me they have one that is better and better, that'll do what I need it to do. But like again, you can get up into the bigger DJIs, and unless you have a commercial use for it,
it really is hard to justify.
And my latest edition that I bought,
I was just going to ask you, I know that you bought another camera.
Yes.
And if you turn your back, it's going to be missing. But you bought the FLIR camera for your Inspire.
I brought the Inspire XT, the Zenmuse XT FLIR camera.
And I know you've been playing with
and
that.
I've been
got
playing
some video on your channel with that,
yeah,
right?
I've been playing with it a little bit.
Have you got any video on your channel for it?
Not on the channel. I've got it privately held at this time.
Well, you need to play a little more and get some video up on the channel so we can all see what that looks like.
Well, my experience this is, so it works great, but what I want to, mostly I bought it, I get calls every once in a while from in the area, search and rescue teams that want to, either they're looking for a lost dog, a lost child, or whatever, and the FLIR camera gives you another perspective to pull out heat.
Yep.
So then you can, in a forest or in a woods, if you're up high enough, you can see heat signatures moving around versus trying to figure out, well, what is that movement?
Yep.
The
exactly.
FLIR camera.
Yep.
And then if you were in commercial use, you can look for heat loss on roofs and drafts and all kinds of different things.
Sure.
But that's not what I bought it for.
Yeah. Paul, thanks for coming out today.
Thanks
for flying with us.
Thanks for coming to Port Huron.
We're going to have some video. We tried to do a thing. I don't know. I got a lot of video to edit. I need to get that chip from you, too, so I can snatch that video off there. But we got some video. We tried to use the Flying Eagle Hilton as a target, and we sicked Sparky on it, And then we tried to fly Inspires behind it, and we had another Inspire way in the air, filming the whole thing. So today we were Inspire poor, but we'll see what happens when I get all that video through post. But
it was interesting.
I think it'll be fun.
Yeah,
and it'll be interesting to
you
see
don't
what we
know
get for video.
until you give it a shot.
You know what? That's all you can do, and then go back and look at it. So
exactly.
Later on tonight, the cutting room floor is going to be a mess, I promise you. Thank you, Paul.
Thank you. Good luck. Safe travels.
Thank you.
Hey, everybody. Yep. Stay tuned. Keep an eye for that video coming up. There's a lot of video to edit there. I really appreciate you sticking around to the end of this. I know it was kind of long. Again, I apologize for that. Thank you so much for subscribing to my channel. I really appreciate it. Ring that bell. Check my website, 400agl.net. There will be links in the description for that, and for Paul's channel, and Carolina Drones, sponsor of my channel. Really appreciate if you consider buying your parts and things from Frank there at Carolina Drones. He's really an awesome guy. Paul talks real high of him. That's how I met Frank, was through Paul. Anyway, thanks again. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you so much. See you on the next one.